one SLM trained for 6th grade science. I'm just assuming. So let's say when you're training it for 6th grade mathematics, you would have given it a knowledge base of mathematics up to 6th grade. From what? Let's assume it is for NIOS syllabus. So I would have a NIOS 6th grade mathematics SLM. Okay. So now all this knowledge base is given to it. Because finer the boundary, better is the performance of it. That is why I'm thinking like this, but you need to validate once when you go into the details. Then what is going to happen? Today, it is being employed to teach Pythagoras theorem. Today, when it is teaching Pythagoras theorem, it would be given a curated content which will have this kind of a structure. Now, from where the curated content was generated, again, it was generated using this knowledge base and using certain other LLMs. LLMs were used to generate the curated content. So we have already done it, meaning the teachers. So now this is also available as an input to your LLM. So now your SLM. What is your SLM? 6th grade mathematics SLM. And currently you have to teach Pythagoras theorem. Now it has to follow this kind of a structure. It has to do the teaching in a way that it has to generate curiosity first. And then it has to pick an explanation. And then it has to validate. So do we want to just show how it is as far as the current teaching? Student made. Oh, student. So there is a the typical LMS way of consuming, but adapted to this thinking. So right now, Dhavalji has come up with a UI, which let's say if I have this curated content, it renders the curated content in a way that the student has to click through it. So he'll demonstrate that. That will also give you some conversational. Yeah. Yeah. So you can think of it like a RAG, but the reason why we are liking to call it as a SLM is because typically, we're using RAG as a constraint to put on a LLM, because I still need to rely on a LLM, which needs to probably run, let's say, in a cloud environment. So, compact response, the policy response from the RAG, the vector data, actually, yeah. So this LLM has nothing to do with take additional source unit. It doesn't take any knowledge. Knowledge is taken out from the vector database. It just gives you a policy response to it. This one. Yeah, that's correct. This one is to ensure that the delivery happens in a polished way. Exactly. That is why we are calling it as SLM. Sure. So only responses from the knowledge is what we have given. Correct. But that agent uses some LLM. That LLM is what we are referring as SLM, because it has to run in a very constrained environment. Yeah. Yeah, you can either think of it like a quantized model or a actual SLM, less parameters, tuned for this purpose. So you need to pick and tell us, okay, is it that, I need to tune it for a particular subject, or is it okay to have a generic SLM, which I can keep imposing different knowledge base? So all that have to be identified. So we're going to demonstrate how the experience is from a student viewpoint. One to my students did very recently, last 2 weeks back. So he just gave a document pertaining to the agriculture of one website. And the question was for based on the expected answer. So we gave a question, he gave that answer. That answer is what was given, we gave it to the LLM. So very answer we just extracted. We extracted through the LLM and we were comparing how exactly. So the first thing is what LLM is polished through. Yeah. Yeah.
Not good.
Ah. Yeah. 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 Multimodal. And also it has to appear like as if you're having a conversation.
So, like question answering system.
Because that audio generation is also something that the SLM has to really think about. Because if you think about it, the audio generation, ideally, we would like it to happen locally, using that to local languages. Yeah.
So basically, conversion from English text to English text to convert ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ regional language convert ಆಗಿ audio ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. Approach we have to come.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ local ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Yeah. Yeah. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ the moment I am going to leverage any language model, audio text conversion models, I'm going to incur cost. So for us, cost is also a very important constraint. Yeah. So while training, if we want to, let's say, use some audio to text and text to audio models, it's okay. But in runtime, ideally, it is completely offline.
So basically, this full objective has to run offline. And
Yes.
Local machine, not
Local-
offline, local machine.
Local machine.
You don't want to spend $20 for training.
Yeah.
Also, real-time audio is related to local.
Real-time audio.
Conversation audio.
That is fine. That's okay. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸರ್ API ಸರ್ ಅವೇ ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ
You are sharing it.
This Guruji, that other day I was showing, I think it's.
Can I have
Other day I shared a game thing, right? Some game structures and all. It is done using the same framework. This 3D character is actually yeah, it's still thinking.
running.
Really generating a response.
So, you are recording on the occasion of Happy Women's Day.
Yeah.
You are going to charge for your purpose.
And
you have a challenge. You already done that. Yes,
So this actually right now is having some problem, but it's integrated with ChatGPT.
okay.
So this avatar talks.
This is chatting out voice.
So and even input can be through voice.
This image generated already generated, right? It's not like real time generated.
This is real time.
No, here I move it.
All real time.
Right.
This is actually done using a JavaScript framework called 3JS.
Okay.
So if you
So Krishna can talk like this.
yeah.
Okay.
If we create a model of Krishna and instead of this one we yeah, because this is real time.
Okay.
So
School teachers
it's
integrated
with
Krishna, Rama, Bhagwan and Kamanti.
Now I should think beyond what I can be more than this.
Yeah, because this is like browser based WebGL. So the WebGL is 3D graphics programming, and it is possible in browser using JavaScript.
Okay.
So they will link ChatGPT and this WebGL based avatar, and it is real time function.
It is generated local in laptop or local?
Browser.
Local,
Any
local.
Browser. Yeah. The only thing is we need to create a model of a different avatar for it.
Yeah.
But why is the voice not coming?
I mean, probably there is some issue right now.
I think that's very much, yeah. It's not going to share computer.
No, right now it's not even working because it keeps on loading.
Running and
Yeah, it keeps on saying it's running. But this is the thing, like they've also shared, it's an open source library, open source work. So they've also shared the code behind it.
We can do a small views.
Yeah, it's actually some Indian movie. And he has done 3GS. He has put up the entire work on GitHub. So any 3D artist can create a 3D Krishna model and replace this.
Where was the GitHub release?
Sorry, man.
Like GitHub, like open source. GitHub Java release ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು.
When was this released? When was this released?
Oh, 2 years.
When was this? It's almost 2 years old, and they.
Yeah, probably ChatGPT integration he has done recently, but this virtual avatar was done earlier than that.
He has updated his license also.
Yeah.
Very recently, 6 months ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Azure API. They have used Azure API
For voice
yeah, executives.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
Azure. Now I have Google now.
Okay, so
No, it's not visible.
this is our application.
This is student side.
Funda is fundamentals. Funda is fun to do activities. School days, every day is a fun day. Monday to Sunday. School concept is like there's no schools, sir. There's no teachers, sir. Students of student ये होता है देखो.
So this is the learning portion of the application. We go through all the fundamentals. And if we go there, we are taken to the screen of
Is one of the streams: science, technology, entrepreneurship, arts, mathematics, and self-knowledge.
So social life.
Social, but the social language there is extra. Social and language.
So this clicking on a subject brings up the topics inside the subject for the student that is logged in. So, it is if a sixth grader is logged in, he will only see subjects that are topics that are relevant to the sixth grader. We've done a topic.
These are all newly built up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last 1.5 months, this is the experiment that has been going. Yeah.
Students say, teacher said, there's a generation of students in generation.
This is a sample topic. We put it on that.
So all this is extracted from Darshanji's school content. I mean, is it like that?
No, not the content integration hasn't yet happened.
Okay, just
So-
the topics and.
So the framework of what is the way the experience has to be is what you're seeing.
So, once we click on a topic, we have the introduction or the curiosity aspect of the topic. And going next,
So like we said, no, any learning is like a movie and there's a curiosity, there's a discover phase, then there's a learn, the explanation phase, and there is a validation. Like that, broadly 3 experiences.
this is the next block. Some become very slow.
From here to there.
Yes.
Yeah, from here to here, right?
No, because it is coming via Zoom.
Okay. And this is, we can have multiple type of, blocks of lessons, like image blocks, video blocks, audio blocks. So this is a sample image block.
Directly connect to this.
Yeah.
So as you can see, today it is like a traditional learning method where the student clicks through, but you're getting the experience. So there is a curiosity creation, there is an explanation through text method, through a image method, through a video method, right? These are the ways in which content is being given to the student to learn.
And lastly,
So this content is, the same content is what is read to the tutor also, AI tutor also.
So let's say that AI tutor also has a similar content. So see now this is where you have we have 2 choices to make. One choice is the lesson consumption itself can be through the AI tutor, or you see this learning buddy. This learning buddy currently is the one which is giving answers to any doubts that may be arising in the mind of the child.
What is learning video? Responding?
right now it is not fully functional, but let's say I have a topic, I did not fully understand.
It's like
how-
chatbot.
Yes.
The domain of this content, right?
Hmm.
It will work.
But it is very much in the context of what is being displayed on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So, student can ask questions around gravity, but if they say, okay, who is the president of United States, it will not
Yeah,
answer. Yeah. So it is within the scope of what is on the screen.
this is text to text.
Yes.
For now.
For now, we can have, whatever is the media supported by the model, we can display. If it is capable of displaying, sending back audio and video, we can do.
So the SLM integration can happen through this kind of an integration.
How is it?
So if SLM bandre, the buddy will get the content from the SLM. See, your SLM,
Conversation something
it can take audio.
Okay, so that one would be.
Yeah.
The background will be that SLM.
Ah.
So we have to connect these, that SLM response to this.
Yes.
Now, who are you taking the response? Just directly from the.
Currently, that is Gemini, but
Okay. You have connected to Gemini and LLM. So we want the SLM to be built for this. Now I got it.
yes.
Okay. That's what I got. See, also like that.
So because Gemini will be internet
Yeah,
dependent.
that's
So basically, even though Gemini 2.5 is free, since it is not available offline, hence we are going for this SLM piece.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
One reason, but the most important reason is, imagine my student can learn even if internet is not working.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole concept. Yeah.
Yeah. And the second thing is, once when I have my own SLM, and I can generate various kinds of learning, let's say variations, all within here.
But still, you cannot
Offline of that.
Can you tell me the scenarios where I may need?
Don't need a domain specific. Purely domain specific.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to get other than this domain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, the response to one minute, and then connect after it. To get a polished response, I think in online,
So you're telling me that if, let's say, for example, so then what?
Now we put the two version of ChatGPT, some server and party. I don't have a connection over it. If you want the whole thing to go offline.
No, but it will still not be offline. It will still be dependent on some network LLM. So what is the purpose of this SLM then, according to you?
So what I'm trying to say is, even in science, 6th grade, so and extract the relevant content of grade 6 to the grade 7. Would take it out and give it the polished way what it is, what it does, and how it is, and use it.
Okay, and where will your SLM be running? Will it need to run in the browser? So LLM is only to polish the, even rephrase it is a prompt. Is a prompt you will be sending to LLM. But what is the actual content? Content generation is happening in the SLM.
Your content, for example, 5,000 theorem, do one Narakai 9 is a textbook. Ashmata Tobot would have done. A Tobot to Aryan Martha, Ella Kursa. Kursa contained 5,000 theorem is this, and for this is the way to solve it. And this is one example under Kursa. What it is under trace problem.
So the way you are explaining, it's nothing but a kind of a RAG extraction, isn't it? So what is the purpose of the SLM in such a case? So the understanding I'm getting, let's discuss that.
Yeah, it is again interacting with LLM.
You know what I'm hearing you say is, so let's say this is my knowledge base. Okay. My knowledge base has, let's say, science for that I need. Okay. Plus, I also am giving that Pythagoras theorem curative. These two are my initial input.
Now, other content or PDFs or web source or audio, anything can be your knowledge base. Pertaining to that content, what you are fed.
Yeah, right. So this is the, let's say this is the 6th grade science content. Could be some kind of PDF, audio, video, multimodal. So this plus, so and I think that stage 1 is some kind of a tuning stage where
tuning is nothing but knowledge based. We convert to embeddings. That's not a thing. User will give the prompt.
Yeah.
The user prompt goes to the vector data.
Yeah.
The knowledge SLM.
Yeah. So
SLM is nothing but your vector data.
So you are thinking of this as a vector DB. Okay. So vector DB nalli, all it will do is extract a chunk. Right?
Exactly where that particular question is answered.
Correct. And so then it is going to, according to you, feed into a LLM.
We fed the output directly from the vector. Exactly
which means there is no language model at all. This is a standard vector search.
How do?
Okay, so you may be looking at, maybe let's say the top, whatever the nearest match based output.
Top 3, top 5,
you feed. So there is no SLM there. See, okay, so where is the purpose of an SLM here then? In this model, there is no language model involved at all. So So this is a typical, we can call it as a RAG plus LLM model.
LLM ಇದು feed ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಈ next
Alright.
feed ಮಾಡಿ.
In feed model.
ಹೌದು.
Alva. So that is what this model is.
Correct.
All right. So this is one model, definitely.
Okay.
See what we are looking for is what is shortcoming in this model. At the end of the day, if the lesson consumption is going to happen the way it is currently shown, which is step by step, they will click on next. Then the student is the one who is consuming the knowledge in the order that was already fixed by our teacher. Correct? Okay. So where will the need for LLM come? If the student asks a question. Correct? A student says, I didn't understand this concept. Can you explain me in a different way?
Knowledge base ಇಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು LLM user question.
Correct. Right? So it's just a way to explain the same content in a slightly different way. That is where the AI buddy is being used. Today, what the AI buddy does is it has the knowledge base that is rendering on the screen, and simply it queries Gemini saying, "Are you feeding the entire knowledge base, whatever the lesson that you received?"
Only the context.
What do you mean by the context?
What is there on the screen?
So whatever is there on the screen.
So you are prompting directly to Gemini.
But I'm telling that the context of the prompt is this knowledge.
No. Yeah, you are directly prompting the LLM, the general LLM,
Yeah.
correct?
So it is,
That response will surely be different to this response.
yeah,
I will guarantee.
for sure. Yeah, that is going to be.
Because I've seen that before.
Correct. So that is what currently is happening, right? So how is this model, this approach, any different from that?
This is what is exactly the domain. If you are going beyond the domain, it will not answer here. But whereas there he will get a response. Because
No.
he is connected.
I think we will, I mean, it's a confusing thing from a user experience perspective. Gemini, what we have done, madam, is we have also restricted the responses based on the context provided. So I cannot ask, say, tell me more about US president.
So
Okay, it will say that, it will say that it's, let's talk about that. No, it's not fine tune. But what you are saying is also correct, because when Gemini then discusses about gravity in this chat interface, it is using its own knowledge.
Okay.
Versus what you are proposing is the knowledge base will also be custom knowledge base that we are providing to the SLM. Versus Gemini is not here restricted to the
So that
knowledge
is the
base as
typical
far as.
RAG approach, RAG approach. That is what Madam G is in this picture, if you see here.
Now, what madam is proposing is more or less like,
A RAG approach, a RAG pipeline.
Specific knowledge base.
Yeah. So it's a RAG pipeline is what you're recommending. So there is no need for a SLM here. Whereas the thinking process is, what is the purpose of an SLM, small language model? It has to be able to generate something in the context of the browser itself or in the local machine itself. Here, generation is happening here, but the boundary for the generation is happening through the information that you're fetching. But if let's say if I didn't have this, and if I had to generate locally, including, let's assume, audio, including the text, can this generation happen locally?
Runs locally.
Which runs locally?
The parameters of LLM.
Yeah, that is why it's called a
It's
SLM.
not just polished way. I'm not giving any extra work for the LLM to generate on its own knowledge base.
Correct.
So I just want it to be polished.
Yeah.
It's possible to be, it's been done here too.
I think what will be the final difference is that SLM will be much more polished and contextual compared to even a RAG, because it's highly fine-tuned as a model
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why this RAG pipeline is the traditional way to impose your domain constraints on an LLM. Whereas with the SLM approach, what is expected is I want a highly tuned, locally generative model is what we are looking for.
How do you choose this local LLM is what I was looking for.
This is not the local LLM.
What he's done.
He is not done.
This is not, madam, this is just a UI thing. It's not like, it's just talking to Gemini.
That is very difficult. What I know. Very difficult to tune and quite.
No, we have not tuned. Okay, what is happening today? Okay.
I need to get clarity on SLM.
All right. It is not SLM. It is not at all SLM. It is not at all SLM.
It's not even a RAG.
It is not even a RAG. What is happening today is simply whatever is on the screen behind this. Okay, can you minimize this?
Yeah. I can also show you the code, man. It will bring instant clarity.
So if you look at this content, right? This content is being given as a context to Gemini. And whatever Gemini is producing is being shown in the chat. Can you now bring up the chat?
One document could be to extract the summary of it and put it
More like that.
or something like this.
Yeah. Instead of a PDF, what he has done is he has taken the content of the screen. Content of the screen. Please understand, it is not even the content of the lesson. It is content of the current screen. This content is in the discover mode. No, in the discover mode, it is just a make-believe chat agent. It is not yet fully functional. This is not going to serve our purpose. Our purpose is, I am in the context of learning a lesson, Pythagoras theorem. And as a student, I may have many questions related to Pythagoras theorem. So how does my that buddy, how does that agent, whatever he has shown as the buddy, how does it respond to all these questions? So it needs to have some kind of a generative capability, correct? So now I have two choices for that. One is very simple. I can have a RAG pipeline connected to my LLM, and whatever LLM generates, I can respond back. So that is one approach, which definitely we can already put into production mode. Why we are bringing the R&D mode now is, see, this is the production mode approach. Today, if I have to deliver this result, that is what we will be working on. But where is the R&D mode coming is, now this is the bottleneck for me cost-wise. Okay, because now I am spending for every student. First of all, I cannot build a RAG pipeline in local machine. So which means that I have to wrap it around an API. So this entire infrastructure is now API enabled. So I need a cloud infrastructure. And I also have the LLM because every time there is a token usage. So the cost, let's say, is X. We're looking at whether this X can be either eliminated completely or reduced. Okay. That is why we are looking at a SLM approach.
So, after that, then I don't even have now question because at this point.
Yeah.
This LLM what we can use a very free version of LLM, which can run locally. Other platform run
Okay.
I'm not sure. Now why should we check it out?
Yeah.
Because I don't want a very big LLM. For this rank.
Yeah.
So all you want to do is build the embeddings. The LLM to run locally.
Let's not think in terms of embeddings for the time being, because that still goes into the RAG pipeline thinking. Imagine I have a knowledge base. Okay, this is my knowledge base. Now, how do I feed the knowledge base to my SLM is another work altogether. See, it can be a trained SLM. While trained SLM, you still need the knowledge base. That is different from a RAG. RAG is once when it has been trained, how do I give new knowledge? How do you constrain it? But when training itself, how do you give knowledge?
The training LLM.
Exactly. That's why we are not talking about LLM. We're talking about an SLM. Whether there are any possible SLM approaches which can take this knowledge base and which can generate this answer in the context of the lesson that is being learned by the student. That is the problem statement.
The main advantage that I have approach.
Like I said,
For example, madam, here
Everything
the
locally.
limitation,
yeah, see, I've done away with X.
the limitation here is that, for example, in this interface, since we are interacting with Gemini or for that matter ChatGPT, it can hallucinate. We don't have any control over that. It can totally go out of control or context, and we don't have any control over that. We cannot fine tune it. So I mean, this is a very basic thing versus that would be very high degree of control over what's happening in the output.
Yeah, that is why that came into picture.
Yeah.
Hallucination is too much
Yeah.
domain.
Yeah. So of course, RAG pipeline is my today's production answer. If I want a production output today, RAG pipeline is my answer. But I'm looking for tomorrow's answer, which is, can I reduce my X?
Operate very high on a finance. Operate local and very efficient. Operate very low. So then if they first they start accessing LLM in the first block.
We need our own.
Correct. So therefore, we are okay to explore two distinct models. One model is per student in the laptop, there is some very finely tuned language model, which is what we are referring as SLM, because it is running in a smaller footprint. That is one approach. So in this, there can be approach one is on laptop, a generative model. Okay, this is one approach on a local machine. Another approach is in a group, in a let's say low cost PC.
On Google server.
Yeah.
Cloud server basically.
Yeah, some low cost PC setup. By that, what I mean is, my operating cost for this should not be more than say 3,000 rupees.
What essentially
Guru cloud server ಈಗ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಅದೇನಾ?
expensive ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
ಅದೇ, imagine, I need to run per Gurukul at no more than 3,000 to 5,000 rupees INR per month. See, a typical VM, say 4 GB RAM, say 2 core vCPU, will come within 3 to 5K per month. If I can run some generative model in that kind of an environment, and if these things can hook up to that, that is also okay for us. This is also another way of cost management. So these are the two distinct approaches, right? That is why we're looking for we're terming it as SLM, but you can offer a quantized model, but it has to be a reliable approach. That is what is important. It can be you can take a llama and you can quantize it. How do you quantize? Quantization also has a lot of parameters, right? So when you're quantizing, you can quantize for a given domain.
And it should match to the response what we are expecting.
So you can say that, okay, the answer is take Olama and quantize using these steps given for our domain. Then, we arrive at this, whatever, let's say quantized LLM, which can run within this parameter and this parameter and is able to do this. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. If we crack this, then it is much, much easier.
This is for us to contain the cost.
How much quantize we have to look?
Yeah.
What would be its size?
Yeah.
So that it fits into that server.
Yeah.
Our own server.
Yeah.
And then accessing it's okay. And it is our own server.
Once when we run it in a small footprint, we can easily build other layers around it. Yeah. But the footprint is very important. It has to be able to run in this kind of constrained environment. 4 GB RAM. Say not
What is the that you should tell me?
Low end.
low end.
Less than
Okay, so let's say up to 8 GB RAM, and say not more than
Yeah, okay. First, application you tap in on this
Laptop. Low end.
the lower laptop. What is the
10 GB ಇರ್ಬೋದು. Overall 8 GB ಇರ್ಬೋದು.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ 8 GB RAM. 8 GB RAM ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ರನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ರನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದೇನೇನೋ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. So which means let's assume that we may get about say 4 to 6 GB of RAM. So if adikine the idea is once when you work around, you can come up with this is the most minimal configuration I need. Then based on that, we can top up and we can see. But right now the thinking is, say if it can operate between 4 to 8 GB RAM, some 2-core vCPU, and typical 1.2 gigahertz vCPUs. In this kind of a thing, plus main memory, maybe say, let's assume, say 70 to 100 GB main memory. If at all you need a main memory, secondary memory.
ಅಲ್ಲ RAM processor ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
Yeah, secondary memory ಏನಾದರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ within that constraint ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, if this can be done, then yeah. ಇದು ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ದು ಕ್ಯಾಶೆ. ಯಾ, ಈ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ರನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we can either deploy it in a local laptop or in a per Gurukul PC.
So first approach would be which is all comes under this. ಈ ರೇಂಜ್ ಯಾವ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
Then tweak the how well we can quantize it.
ಯಾ ಸೊ SLM ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ LLM ಕ್ವಾಂಟೈಸ್ LLM is SLM ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
Reducing the parameters basically.
Yeah, because there are some low parameter models directly, right? There are some language models which only have say 3 billion parameters, 7 billion parameters. They are also without quantization itself.
They are available directly. That's clear.
Alva, they are also being so generally the number of parameters, that is the constraint, or that is the threshold for SLM or LLM. So I think well within 15 billion parameters already, they're able to run in this kind of an environment. So I think those are being referred as SLMs. So there's this ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇದಾವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್. Thank you, Ji. Which one would be appropriate? We need to see, and whether it can be, whether we can train it using a knowledge base. Because how do you fine tune? Then comes the fine tuning question. Yeah.
Challenge.
That
is where we stop fine tuning it. It's too much of server.
LLM
fine tuning is too much.
Not LLM, but SLM fine tuning.
According to me, uncertainty. That might be a critical case for us, but we can try out.
You can check out once.
Yes, I'll check out.
Yeah. ಇವ್ರು ಎರಡು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ. ಒಂದು ಇವಾಗ ಓಲಮ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ LLMಗಳು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಂತವು. ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವಷ್ಟು ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಟ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ಫುಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜನರಲಿ ನಾಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as an SLM. It is quantized version of an LLM. But there are models which have less number of parameters. Those are called as SLMs. Less than, say 7 billion parameters. They are all called as SLMs. DeepSeek and all is LLM.
ನಾವೇನು chat GPT 2.1 ಆ range ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. If you want to consider for R&D purpose, again you need to think. So let's say this is number 1. Here this is number 2. Number 3 is you may have heard about this Jensen.
Jensen ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅದು?
Jensen, no? ಹೊಸದು. Jensen is this new GPU. NVIDIA, though, I think well within some 25,000 rupees. Okay, now. Can you bring up Jensen? What? Just go to NVIDIA website. Okay, wait.
I need the power.
Yeah.
I mean, please go down.
Okay. Deep sequence.
There is something called as world model that some of the people that spun up from OpenAI, they are working on it. So that world model is the way they are envisioning is that LLM is going to be an interface to the world model. And world model is going to be the one that adheres to a lot of conceptual things as far as reality is concerned. So LLMs will interact with world model.
World model is for software or let's say?
It's a model, like the language model. It's going to be a world model. And that combination is going to be very powerful because world model
Connect to the world model for what? What do they get LLM connecting to world model?
because world models are inherently built around the notion of conceptual clarity. You understand?
LLMs are trying to create that the whole by so many parameters, so much they are trying to create a knowledge and ability to deliver. What does the world model have? It's more parameters higher?
It's not even thinking, it's not even modeled around that concept. It's not modeled around that concept anymore. It's modeled around a different concept altogether.
Right? See, the foundation of a language model is your language structure. What is the language structure? If you have a sentence, that cat, all that LLM is doing is next, what is it predicts? It predicts is, the cat is, possibly. On what basis? On the basis of some attention it is giving, right? It is based on the language model, how a language is constructed. What is the word model? The human mind looks at the world in terms of objects, relationship.
Oh, so this is not an LLM, it's language.
It is not a language model at all. It's a new way of modeling. It's a new concept. You look, see, in AI, no, there's an expert system. Expert system looks at mimicking experts' way of decision-making process. A language model took a different approach of, let me generate the next sentence, next word. That is where it started. Next word, let me start generating it. And lo and behold, suddenly we have this whole LLM, right? So it is able to generate at an accuracy level of what human beings are able to supposedly do. But that is not solving because mathematics it is failing. Why? Because it doesn't have a concept of mathematics. It simply knows 1 plus is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't know why is. There is no concept, there is no understanding of what it is doing. Yeah. So word model is models the problem, models the word in terms of objects relationship. So therefore it is able to
It's a conceptual modeling of
human mind.
Because language modeling is LLM.
Is LLM.
So a world model is not a language model.
It's a conceptual modeling, it's a conceptual thinking. Whereas
I thought DeepSeek was also trying to look at something like this. They just, instead of looking at the entire word, they were looking at entire sentence and trying to
All are variations of how to optimize the language model.
Language. This is working on concepts. Relation of this.
That is where that other there was a NASA paper, somebody called Rick Briggs. He had said that Sanskrit is a better language for language model.
Yes.
Because Sanskrit you can generate, because Sanskrit is by default generative language. There are simple dhatus and pratyas.
There is no controversy, no confusions.
Yes.
So anyway, this is a separate topic.
Language is actually directly referring to the object.
Yeah.
I mean, you can derive what is the thing from the
And there is another beauty in Sanskrit, which is in Sanskrit, language also has word embedded in there. Dictionary.
Yes, language, you don't need separate dictionary for Sanskrit language. Every word, every alphabet, aksharam, points to be, for example, heaven in Sanskrit. Heaven, what is meaning? Heaven, some nice place, like festival. Heaven in Sanskrit, na-kam. Na means no. Akam means unawareness. So it's not a place, it's a state of consciousness. So for that you don't need dictionary. The word is especially broken.
Take the word together.
Split the word together meaning, not in dictionary. Because dictionary is being of
This entire landing prediction was first used in radar for actually predicting the next set of signals that are going to come.
Signal processing.
Signal prediction. That whole actual signal processing was this only. Forward prediction of what is there depending upon what was the forward prediction and the pattern generation.
Telling you what your neighborhood was.
And that time that fellow who that they are still using the Pilman in healthcare. I told but this textbook for DSP is what I used some 40 years back. You're still using it. She says there is only one available still.
Even for algorithms and all, even today, analytic everything is still used.
Oh.
Till today, I'm also using the same textbook.
Okay, so not able to go in
That's
that.
something for that.
Yeah, but it is well within 25,000. It's a NVIDIA new GPU, and its form factor is also like a simple motherboard, not more than maybe 2-3 of them next to each other, right? It's as small as that. Okay, so that is one another approach that you can consider if you feel that you really need a GPU.
To tune ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇದು GPU ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ we can approach this
Yeah.
instead of the cloud.
If at all you can use, then it is still affordable for us. So like that, these are the 3 possible approaches. But what the outcome we are expecting? It should be able to generate text. It should be able to generate audio in a human-friendly manner, child-friendly manner. Please. So that we will see next. So if we crack this problem,
Initially, broader spectrum ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಯೋಚನೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ because
if you really solve for text and audio, later we will look into video. See, today video is important, but if we solve the fundamental, text and the audio, we can easily, not easily, but relatively easily solve.
Audio and text may not be sufficient ಆದಾಗ
then we will see that. Why? Because see, the way we are thinking, please correct if you think it is to be modified. See, we are constrained by our cost. Okay, I have to go to production level in the least possible cost. Okay, so therefore today my production approach is that, because that is the best possible solution I can think of, rack pipeline for today. But for my tomorrow, what is my tomorrow? My tomorrow is not another years away. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 months. my tomorrow I should get away with the X cost. Then I can incrementally look at how do I improve that. Then, for that we will think of a separate cost. But now, if you look at this experiment, this experiment, if at all I need to really invest on a hardware infrastructure, it should not be more than say some 25-30K. If I need the GPU, and another maybe whatever additional thing, not more than 5-10K. So I will still be operational in this within say 40-50K cost structure. So we are defining the R&D outcome by these kind of cost constraints. So yeah, please, if you have any alternate opinion, please recommend.
We can look around with this option.
Yeah. Yeah.
ಅದೇ ನಾನು ಅದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಇದನ್ನ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಚೂಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿ ಕುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಗೋ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೋಕಲ್.
Definitely. If let's say within the next maybe within the next 1.5 months, if you're able to crack and have a reliable solution, we will be all for it. See, today, this team is all about reliable production release. You and your team will be all for tomorrow's, but tomorrow for us is not years away. Tomorrow is just few months away. There are two kinds of tomorrows. Few months away tomorrow and tomorrow.
Thank you also think and
Yes. But the picture is clear, no? So in terms of the
what are the SLMs did you see? Did you see when you were looking around? Did you get into?
No, we haven't yet dabbled with any SLM. We haven't dabbled. Yeah, so right now it's kind of like there's an awareness, and I'm seeing different kinds of smaller use cases emerge. For example, there is that smallest AI. This company, smallest AI, they claim to be using all kinds of SLMs, okay, for audio conversion, and these audio conversions, can happen well within your browser. They claim at a very low cost, so they're able to offer very low cost approach.
They have been agents.
No, they are giving you. I'll just show you the way.
This is what US based.
No, India-based. Smallest
They
AI.
give a template also to build agent.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah.
This is free, huh?
No. Just 1 minute. I'll put one content.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ.
Oh,
Okay, so it is they claim to be using SLMs, and they claim to be saying that no, they're able to generate this kind of a high fidelity. So if you notice, it seems to be much better than Google's Kannada voices. So it is, in terms of the
Indian touch is there.
Indian touch is there.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರೂಪಶ್ರೀ.
Fairly decent voice clarity, right? So,
That. And they are connected to their.
Yeah, so they are giving this, and these are meant for these kind of short audio text conversions. They are not giving this API for longer text, for short text. So there are.
Because the long version will take much processing time.
Looks
So,
like.
yeah, it is.
Right? So it is tuned for these kind of smaller things. So this is what they are claiming, the smallest AI. So small SLMs, which have very focused, sharp domain of operation. Within that alone, they operate.
Obviously, to connect to this, they will be connected. It will indirectly be connected to their cloud servers, right? Which might be huge.
That may be the case.
Yeah, it might be the case.
Ah,
We cannot say that it is running locally in our browser because backend it might be connected to their cloud server, right? Allah, ಇದು locally full run ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇದು
I don't know that.
No,
The founder of this company, no, I was listening to him, and they're betting heavily on these kind of SLMs, and they're claiming that they're able to give this particular API for such a low cost only because of their SLM tuning and that too for Indian languages. This is what they, and their SLMs are getting integrated. This, especially these APIs, are getting integrated to a lot of college. Because they are now offering production quality outcomes here. So especially if you have to generate smaller text.
They would have their own server.
For generation, again, where, see, there are two kinds, two levels or two stages at which you need to look at the cost. One is while generating your model, you may have a slightly higher infrastructure, agree.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿನೇ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಬಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
Okay, so training time ನಲ್ಲಿ I need higher infrastructure, but run time ನಲ್ಲಿ, generation time ನಲ್ಲಿ I need lower infrastructure.
Infrastructure, but ಈಗ number of words ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 200 or 2000 something
ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್.
ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. So which means that my runtime cost has become less in this model. Otherwise, to even operate,
100% it's not.
Again, I don't know what.
I will also venture it out.
Yeah. So that's what they're claiming. Okay, so these guys.
Yeah, and smallest.ai, right?
Smallest.ai.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Usually it does only audio.
It has, they have released this for this I didn't know. Waves is what I knew.
Yeah.
This is the text to speech. There is they also have this voice cloning. I don't know what voice cloning.
Synthesis. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, that is the voice of ಅದೇ 10 seconds audio sir, 30 seconds audio ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ
So that is what they are claiming, that for these smaller tasks they are able to do it.
How much they are charging for
Either Prabhuji.
this language?
This one alone voice synthesis itself is a research.
Oh, it's Indian company was government.
$5, like 3 hours. So the waves is their audio feature. About 3 hours of large. Okay, so the API access 20 requests. So these are the.
ಅದೇನಂತ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ $5 ನಾವು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಸತಿ ರನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಖಾಲಿನೇ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. That's what we faced.
Large content model.
Adu, we just took his 30 seconds and 40 seconds results. Saying this is not okay. This is our second part. Let me go through the smallest.ai. SLM, I have to revert back to you. I'll look into this. And if possible, ನಮ್ಗೆ ರಾಗದಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು SLM ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ?
Yeah.
ಅದು ಒಂದು approach. I will just look into it.
Yeah.
So what best is the cost effective that you can go ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So you one of the outline you understood, if you can kind of put some kind of plan together, this may be the cost factor. This is how it will pan out. This is the time, and this is the reliability. If you can give an outline, just cost target. However, we can
I will
make.
give you as per the requirement varies. So ಈ SLM ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ತರ ಎರಡು ಮೂರು ಇದೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ತರ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಆ ತರ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. Then you can map the cost very easily.
Yeah.
Right?
However, is it even feasible? Should we take it or not?
That
I can
conclusion remarks I will.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ at the end of the day, ನೀವು time ಅನ್ನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ waste ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. And we can see whether we need to take it today or tomorrow. Because right now there is a.
So whatever we freeze now will be scalable for many agents, right? So we have to freeze it properly.
Yeah.
I got your point.
Yeah. Anything else? The light bill.
Thank
So, madam, what time we can tell us something usable? Because something usable is not product.
I can take it.
See, what the
Oh, with this,
but these are army, the army of students are there.
He doesn't need much.
How long do you want to take for this?
yeah. I would want this, but the answer
This is like corporate. Date per date. Date per date, yeah.
Okay. Yes, madam.
It's quite interesting.
Now, if you arrive at this now, it is time to.
It's right approach what we are taking. So if we freeze now, it's the right track for us. Then after that, we will not have glitch at the later end when we have gone to our next level.
Okay, madam, think money on plan, before the proceed with your plan and keep the cost minimum.
If it is zero, it's better.
No budget. All I come to this company.
That's why we gave you the cake and also the ice cream.
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you so much.
So
It was a good discussion.
this place has become now Silicon Valley. One day they recorded. The next edition Silicon Valley was built in 725 apartment. And you can also say. You can also say. Next generation also coming. So, Gayatri will be immortalized in the technology field.
People will be walking museum
In the this thing.
We'll keep a wax statue. Wax statue.
That's yeah.
Rag statue.
This thing, HP go. The garage and this thing, the HP 100 started, right? Garage, it's a museum.
Garage and
Yeah. So you can also be a museum one day. Okay.
So anyone who wants startup will come here, now please, they want to rent it out.
Any patents going from here?
Can just use this as an incubation and the service.
Oh.
Come and build your startup here, it will be so successful. That only 2%.
Anyway, all great tech startups are built like this only. Yes. Okay. They build a garage. We build it as an apartment.
We should have hired a garage.
So this is going to be a great place. Lot of new ideas will come out. Madam, one day.
Gurukula has a garage also, right?
No. You know, the Gurukula will be not next, but 30 days. That is Yugadi day.
Yugadi City, Mysore, at the moment.
Exactly. We have another day. I think we'll come. We have this one, 7. We
That I couldn't join. But I hated the degree.
ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಶಾರದಾದೇವಿ ವಿಗ್ರಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. Everywhere we want to have ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರು ಶಾರದಾ ಪೀಠ. ಶಾರದಾ pit is for knowledge center. And one specialty of it, entire population is women, no place for men.
And it's minority.
Minority ಇಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. Only for converted. This is for showcase. They are creating hundreds and hundreds of women in groups. No men at all.
Men is always at the back.
No, very few.
Or then we have
Very
bigger
few.
knowledge in this area.
No, only to the singers. People who want to be women only. Men ಬಂದು ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಕೇಸ್ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಅದರ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಇರೋದು ಸಾಕಾಗಿದೆ. It's a women of the organization.
But I'll take a move now. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Then they special opinion, no?
Women's Day.
Organization.
So anything I have given around the APIs.
You want to do a quick demo? I showed it. Now, you want to demo for everybody?
Go to, okay, one of, yeah, she correct. And can you do the demo again now? You know that. Yeah, do the demo. It's on the cloud, but you go, Vijay, I'll put you on that post, who can use that collection. Or she can put it on the line. You can directly. Okay, it's 75 already. Now, how do I get it? So, for Google, then you
Okay, I have Mr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will come down.
And probably Anisha will be here with us till next Saturday.
Yeah. So Anisha, this is actually a Gurukula. You know what is Gurukula? Huh?
Yes, sir.
What is Gurukula? We have a tradition where we are ultra way. So it's a modern tradition, right? So you'll see a lot of spiritual teachings and a lot of art religions. Most modern technology will work at the same time, most ancient Indian knowledge also will work. So this is the difference. And here you have to not only get involved in A, but you get involved in some of the teachings also, spiritual teaching also. It will be good for you. So,
And we are thinking of having the part, so our Padma Madam, she started 1 week of classes, the group people, every Saturday. So I'm going to introduce Anisha also into that.
we have got a big the spiritual teachings are not taught in the schools today. So we have created small group, about 5-6 people, we go and coordinate. So many such groups are there. Hundreds of people learn in media and other things. So you also learn how the groups, you also need to. So gradually getting deeper understanding of Indian culture. Okay. In our today's schooling system, we don't teach. So if you are here for 1 or 2 years, You will know which technology and deep spirituality of India. Okay. Have you ever tried any spiritual teaching? Any learning from Bhagavad Gita and all meeting? No.
You want me to send
It's
me?
very important.
Yeah, I joined the meeting. I'm sharing something. Yeah.
Now I get. Ah. Doesn't go around, sir.
She knows only Marathi, not Konkani. You understand Konkani also.
Better than Marathi, there's no. Samstha. We can speak. Now the Konkani is more like Marathi.
So Belgaum is towards Maharashtra.
Anyway, I will take one chocolate. But the team is very careful. He left his son left bed in our house, he has covered the bed. And I want to collect your bed also. Oh, no, better. Okay.
Coming and going only or
Residential. Yeah.
but then there's the people will come. But neighborhood people will know, you know. That they,
Never mind over there.
at least this thing they'll probably actually.
Yeah.
I think your house, your meditation. Some can, and then some will are he gave experience. And then
You'll work on the latest technology, okay?
yes.
We can do for you.
Okay, but.
See, here come, yes. I am from already experience. Many years already, John Kumar, myself, Rahul. And we are also coming in the experience of startups. So what we are creating new ideas. We don't go for old industry type. I'll be happy when we are able to take new. So we show some project product, right? A whatever is market. I'm not happy. So to create something better than that. Right? Here importance is creativity. Create something new. Most modern and same time most traditional, ancient. Quite opposite.
Yeah, not opposite.
They're not opposite. This was Sakshi. Oh, Vaishali, Vaishali. Vaishali is Sakshi.
Thank you.
Today Vaishali didn't come for walking, he slept there.
She is actually, she went somewhere, that is why I am so much productive.
What organized mind? Who talking out?
Don't be fair, you know, right?
These are the productivity secrets.
Actually, it's the same thing, they also say. The husbands are not there, we are very.
Okay, so Anupama ji, are you there?
Okay, sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you there, Anupama ji?
So this is the, like that day we ran the local APIs, Vijay.
Yeah.
I have put all the cloud run APIs here. Okay. And this one
He's just showcasing the cloud API.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is a shown it to Ashwini ji so that she can ensure that using this API, the same output should come from app also.
So the art we will change the model. We will use the art capabilities available within Google.
And we will do that. Right now, there is
It's okay,
no
it's okay.
only there is no art. No, there is no authentication actually.
Yeah. So we'll actually integrate with their authentication system. So we will, after your demo, we will talk about what we will do for the next.
Okay. And so this is of course this auth it's called auth because he has given the API. And here, for example, the body is testexample.com. Right now, I have removed the bytecrypt or any authorization generation of the token. So it's only a JWT token based on the student email ID, the password. So there is no validation on test123. It is just if it is there in my database, it's test123 and I'm saying. So if this is the thing, I'm just sending it. So that's the response. The wording, yes. For the auth, that's the response. Your student ID.
And this token needs to be sent as a header to subsequent.
Exactly. So the next one, so this token that has come is, for example, what is the token? Let me just move away. So this token is a new token. Every time I get this, I copy this. See in the next API. Is the subjects. This is what you have given now. API subject and student ID 2. So in the headers, authorization is bearer. I replace this token that I have got. And then send it. So now for that, this is the response. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Now we have got the subject, given the student ID, we got the organization, given the asking for with the student ID subjects, we have got the subjects. Now the third API is about with the student ID 2 and the topic ID. In that subjects, you found all the topic IDs. So you give one of the topic IDs. For this one, so in the headers, it is this bearer has to be replaced. This is only pain in this. Is there an automatic way in Postman? I don't know. I have to. Yeah, you can find it. We'll find out exactly. So there's the topics that have come. Password topics and topic. If the subject was mathematics, the topics is algebra. Then the next one is the lesson ID within that. And here also I'll replace the lesson ID 101 in there. So this gives the key items. Okay, all the key items.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a basic structure. There's still a lot of thing to be done because this falls, all that is as it is fixed one thing. I'm trying to make a small front-end app to actually make that another thing I wanted to ask you. This the teacher meta, the quickest thing we want is to something to post this database, the lessons, the journey, the for somebody to take. So if we can make one, if you already have one, I'll take the code. Otherwise, I'll have to create some. I have done it in my team. Yeah. Can you just give me the code? I will use it for as a part of an creating the database. Otherwise, what's happening is the same database things I'm taking all.
I think for that, we will need to do that exercise of what are the APIs we need and all, but I will do it actually. We don't need to, have an elaborate session around it. It's a simple thing. So what I will do is I will assume an API structure. Now that we know the, API comes and all, I will go ahead and create one and give it to you. And subsequently, I will execute the team on how it is structured. So that,
Yeah, no, the problem that I have is not, you can give me care, but for me, to put them into the Postgres database, it's taking time. It's manual.
Yeah, so that's what this interface is supposed to.
So, okay, so now, we can kind of discuss about, there are two things that we thought we will do. One is API structure. And then we can talk about what each one of this technology will be for the coming week. Do you think, we can do a quick API design, or do you want to do it separately and then share?
I would say let us do it in a way where I do it now that we know about this API thing and all. I will do it and present it to the team so that it will be faster. And today we are almost like at 4. So let me do that. Teachmate, I can demo quickly what we have. So I will create that structure, give a presentation on how the teachmate tool will look like and how are different components and all. And we will do the same exercise of having the mock server running for teachmate. Then I will give it to you. Yeah. And you can okay.
Okay, so now what's the step you want to do?
The latest teachmate I will show because it is now polished. So yeah. I will.
Anupamaji, Rishitaji, are you still there?
Yes, Vijayji. But
Uh,
there is a blur background, Vijayji, so we are not able to see the board.
Your video, no, Vijay. Your thing is the video on. No. Video is coming from there. Vijay is.
Okay, anyway, now he's going to share the screen.
Yeah, Vijay, in the video, you can just remove the blur.
I have G. I'm not using any background at all.
No, that's my background.
See, none, right? I said none.
Oh, yeah, this doesn't work with your laptop.
For whatever reason, it seems to be not working.
I will also refine some of the things in teachmate based on the recent understanding we got.
Yeah, the other one is probably I can work with her if you have the thing to put.
Okay, now, Davaji is going to be sharing the latest teachmate on the screen.
Vijay, the things, the code, student code or whatever, in our GitHub, that's one thing.
Vijay, show your Zoom. This is taking.
Yeah, that's what we will.
Space also, so this
Yeah, by the way, this is
Not
not
in
in another, not in our thinking or that is
Here.
microservices, student, then I have to continue here.
Wait. Then I
Right now, it's kind of mixed the database.
think,
But the movement I do.
Doesn't matter. You don't worry. At the moment, it will be fine
No,
wherever we are calling it. Yeah, but doesn't know if they are
No,
coming from
it's correct. Right now, it's not replicated.
No, these are address your key.
That is only in a single case. What happens is that I configure that in the
Yeah,
single
only
case.
one is that.
Yeah.
Right, so in one, the address is only in one place. In the environment variable, it will take it.
display,
So the next job,
I think chat.
I have to do
yeah, we
is,
can remove chat and then we'll get some space here also.
take one of the
We can take
standard
standard that will.
things and put it in
give us
five
some
place.
space.
Okay.
Vijay, make it
Yeah, you click on that.
I'm thinking if you can,
better. We'll remove.
you are thinking the GitHub, I
Yeah.
can take it from the GitHub.
Yeah. So
Next thing is that.
we'll discuss the next steps now. Let him demonstrate, and then we'll discuss the next steps.
Next thing is actually doing that. They're putting it in GitHub and deploying on.
We'll now have to, we have step 1 of production. Step 2 of production is CI/CD pipeline.
Yeah. See, this is the very rough teach me structure based on back and forth and communication we have done so far. So this is
Anupamaji and